Yeah. What's going on?
What's going on?
I'm into the world's most lackluster leg day right now. My knee's bugging me. But we're gonna make it look fucking super intense and really cool because we're gonna put the filter down. I mean, the darkness is gonna go down on the screen. So it looks like I'm fucking intensely working out.
Is that the style now?
Yeah. And you're not really doing much to speak of working out wise. You just put one of these like super dark, like you literally have to squint to see what the person's doing on the fucking screen. It's like, is that a fucking leg press or leg extension? I don't know what they're doing. It's like nightclub fucking lighting. But it makes it look more intense, right? So when I do these leg extensions over here, we'll go dark filter on that. And I'll look really intense while I do it. That'll confuse everyone on Instagram world that I'm actually working out hard. And put like the little text across the screen, like quads. You just see a leg going up and down slowly. Like, oh, how much weight's on there? We don't know. It could be 20, it could be 100. No one knows. Just gonna make it look like it hurts though. Oh. This is what I do to build big quads. Yeah, everything's better with a dark filter. That's why the lighting in strip clubs is so low. Next thing they'll do in gyms is they'll put blue light so everyone looks better in their videos and just in person. Just like at the strip club.
Wicked tones, you know.
Decided my number one pet peeve of people in the gym and people in general is when people walk by you and you don't even want to say hi to them either. Or you make eye contact and they give you one of these. Like the little smirk smile, like, oh hi, don't bother me. It's like, I wasn't gonna. Your ass smiled at me. I don't even want to say hi. It's probably because I'm tattooed and hideous to look at, so they just want to get by me as fast as possible. There's people giving you like the pity. It was a Healthy Planet last night for people watching in the States, because 90% of the people watch me in the States, so shout out to the US. Canada fucking hates me apparently. Really? Anyway, think of it like a more like granola vitamin shop, let's say, in the States. Or like a mini Whole Foods with no fucking produce. So I went there and I'm like, I just had to grab like some, I forget what I was grabbing, like, I was out of like fucking glucosamine or some shit, I forget. I grabbed a bunch of stuff. And I was in there and I'm like looking around, I'm like, all these people are like buying, it's all organic fucking, organic this, organic that, vegan this, everything's like vegan and non-GMO, and it's like everybody who's standing in there, not that I'm like the pillar of health, but like everybody in there who's trying to be healthy and like be so fucking like, oh, like I'm nourishing my body, they all look like they're dying. You're in line with a bunch of fucking like zombies from The Walking Dead. Skin's all fucked up, like they're skinny fat, their fucking bodies drooping and shit. It's like, you really think you're that healthy eating that shit? Like, you might want to get on some meat, man. Like, fucking protein in that ass. It's like, you can just hear them when they go home or they tell their friends, like, I only shop at Planet Fitness. That's it. Only shop at Whole Foods. I love paying more money for the same shit.
Yeah, for real.
It's nothing better than paying more money to believe that I'm healthier for doing so. Like, broccoli's broccoli, boys and girls. Need to break that to everybody. Don't know what they've convinced you of, but it's crazy to see the way people think. There's people out there that literally think that like, if they just eat in a way that someone's told them is healthy, let's say it's vegan, let's say it's whatever, right? That's just gonna make them like, they're just gonna be better overall, like leaner, more muscular, whatever it is, like more cardiovascularly in shape without doing any of that work. So I think just by eating shit that's healthy makes them healthy. It's like, but you don't move your fucking body. So all that calorie you're ingesting, all that stuff you're taking in, you're not burning it off. It's still gonna get stored as fat. Hate to break it to you, whether it's organic or not. And the best is the people that go in those fucking places and they buy organic potato chips. And they're like, oh, it's better for you. It's like, yeah, it's not better for you because you paid $13 for a bag. It's the same shit. It just has a whole bunch of terms like organic on the back. Organic salt. Organic canola oil, no such thing. Sunflower seed oil. Some of the worst shit for you probably. Those fucking people are hilarious with the shit they come up with. It's like you could just come in here and bust your ass. Probably get away with eating a lot of stuff you like to eat and just enjoy your life. But yeah, keep eating that shit. I've discovered the perfect analogy as to, not, I don't even want to say science nerds because I think I'm bad mouthing people who actually have scientific backgrounds who are intelligent. So I don't mean that in like a derogatory way to actually intelligent people, but these so-called fake, like let's say they're anatomical jargon spewers. They just like spit out anatomical terms and pretend like, oh, this is all this shit. It's like you got to like 12th grade in high school and barely passed, and now you're fucking regurgitating shit that really smart people say and trying to make yourself sound smart, right? It's the same shit as like guys and girls, whoever. You've never played a sport, so say you love hockey. You never played hockey though, but you fucking love hockey, or you played it and you're really shit at it, and obviously you didn't go anywhere with it because we're standing here together right now. You're not in the NHL, right? That's the same shit. Those are the same people that watch say they watch the Leafs. They're a Leafs fan. They know everything about the Leafs. They know every statistic. When like Austin Matthews is on the ice, they're more likely to score. Their rating is a +4, and then their percentage of win is this after this time period. And it's like you guys that's what you guys are. Those are the people of the fitness world. They just come up with fucking like they're so concerned with like the details that don't matter, and they just can't do what it is that is the sport. Like you can't play NHL hockey, so you gotta like live through it another way, right? It's the same with people doing that in lifting. Most of the guys talking like that, look, like I said before, aren't anything impressive to look at. I'll say that in a nicer way. Nor have they amassed a physique that's like, wow, I really want to, he's got some fucking great arms, or he's got a great back, or you know what I mean? They haven't done that. So they have to rely on this, like, it's like this smoke and mirrors, like, it's like the shortened position of your brachial radialis, and your, you know what I mean? And people who don't know, when they hear stuff like that, you hear like technical jargon, you're like, it's like my mechanic when he talks to me about my engine. I'm like, yeah, just fix it, man. Like, you sound like you know what you're talking about. So I'm gonna just take that, do that. Motherfucker's not even doing anything. He's probably tightening a bolt, $400. You know what I mean? So it's like, these guys they're the same people, right? Desperately trying to like fit into a culture that they don't fucking belong to. Because you don't fucking belong, man. Just do the work. Just fucking work out. Share your experiences of like what works for you. Don't over explain shit to me. Especially because the average layperson who's just training has no idea, nor do they care when their bicep is in the shortened or lengthened position. They don't give a fuck. Just tell them how to get it bigger. They want their arms to be bigger. This is what you do, man. Do this, try this little tip here. Don't let me like try and have to like run to my thesaurus or my anatomy book and be like, what's a bicep femoris? Is that in my arm? Like, it's just crazy to me. You have that shit in sports. It's become so like, it's become such a thing, right? Because look what they did for the nerds who watch sports. Fantasy football. Now you're part of the game, right? Like, shout out to everyone who plays fantasy football, makes money off of it, but like, that's what it is, right? You're not playing the game. You're just fucking following along like, oh, I'm a part of this now. I know all these statistics and all these variables. It's like so-and-so rushed for 150 yards last week. He's guaranteed to rush for that again. You don't know that. Like, you can't predict behaviors and shit like that. Just like you telling me anatomy fucking terms and explaining things doesn't mean I'm going to understand it. Just show me. We'll just explain it again. People don't fucking remember anything nowadays. So, brand new topic. Never done this before. Well, so if you're setting up on this, a lot of people make the mistake, like everyone I'm assuming has seen this, they'll stay away from this pad. So They'll either be hovering here, distance to the pad, and they'll be doing this type of thing. Just trying to get mechanical advantage because they're driving knee into pad and they're kicking foot. Just so I can drive up into things, right? I'm snapping up. But I want my hip flat against here and I want my knee locked out. So my quad is pressed to this pad as hard as it can be, and my hip is forward. It's not behind here. I'm here. So I have tension on my heel already. So when I do rock back, it's my whole leg rocking back and then sliding up. Sliding. So I'm scooping this pad from the lowest point. I'm trying to come under this pad and lift it up. I'm not trying to pull this pad and snap it to my butt. I'm trying to roll through here, drive up through and swing up. Swing up. It's the same as my bicep on a concentration curl. This is the back of the pad. I'm not going to start my concentration curl like this and go like this. I'm going to get length and I'm going to roll up through. Right? So this is my knee, this is my heel. I'm breaking knee, scooping heel, rolling up through my bicep. It's the same thing here. It's just my fat leg in the way, showing you how to do it, right? Another good thing here is like if you get someone who's having a hard time connecting to their hamstring, I don't have to come around here. So if I start here, locked out like I should, and I bend my knee a little bit and and catch my hamstring, I'm already on it. So I've engaged hamstring. So I've almost done like a static hold into here. And I'm gonna let it relax and I'm gonna slide out. Slide. So I'm gonna almost prime that hamstring in the sense that I'm gonna crack to like a quarter curl, like an eighth of a curl here on the bicep. Then I'm gonna release and rock. So I understand that tension of that. I find the tension of the hamstring. I let that extend, I drop out of it. So I don't start from like a dead stop. I like prime. It's like what I would call priming your hamstring or priming your bicep. So I'm gonna prime and let it engage. And then I'm gonna get that length and rock. So the drop only has to be down back to here, slide back up. Instead of coming from dead, trying to understand this grab. I'm already grabbed and I'm releasing up through, right? I just poured water on my head to make it look like I'm sweating. Pretend like I've been working out. Whew, man. Put the dark filter on. It's gonna be a good set. Just cry in the comments. I like to virtually cry when Mike makes fun of me.
Cry in real life.
I like to tell him I feel attacked. Even though he doesn't know who the fuck I am, nor does he give a shit. That's my favorite thing. People say they feel attacked. Like, bro, if that's attack to you, what are you gonna do in real life if someone does attack you? You're gonna fucking lose your mind. Okay. This feels shorter now. My legs get longer. What the fuck? I feel like I got taller. Mid-set break. So, there's a lot of people. Oh fuck, I'll talk about it after. Not that this is heavy, I'm just gonna get out of breath. Yeah, so there's a lot of talk about like the most remedial, and I say that lovingly, I don't mean any disrespect. I'm turning over a new leaf. But the most remedial thing, and you see, this is a good sign that the person you're listening to has no idea what they're talking about, or is really like at the like beginner levels of understanding movement and shit. Is when people talk about foot position on leg equipment. So if your feet are higher, that's glutes. If your feet are lower, that's more quad. If your feet are open more, that's more hamstrings. Like whatever the fuck it is, right? I can generate like power, tension, contraction in any part of my leg I want, basically with any foot position. I don't need, yes, there's obviously, we go a little higher, I'll have an easier time, I'll have less knee flexion. So my knee, if my legs are up higher on this, let's say, this is a different kind of press, so it's kind of a bad example. But if my feet are up higher here, and I go to bring this back, there's not a lot of knee flexion. My knee bends about there and I drive out. So yes, it's more hip, it's a hip press. And we're driving out through feet and we're kind of flexing through hips, hamstring, butt, quad, glute, everything, right? If I put my feet lower on this, obviously I'm gonna get more knee flexion. So that's gonna be more quad, right? But it's not like it's not like a tried and true thing. I'm still getting quad up high. And if I'm someone who's got a different build than me, I have a fake hip for fuck's sakes. So it's like if someone has a different build than me or structure than me, their foot stance being that low would be insanely uncomfortable. But that's technically quad, and a little higher is too much hamstring, too much glute. But they might feel it better where they are. The most important thing for people to realize when they do leg stuff, this press, like I said, is a bad example. I'll show it on a hack squat after. It's like, I wanna be where I am now, where I can feel this quad roll open. So I don't want these hips pinned tight. See all these people doing straight presses and their knees almost buckle when they push, or their knees are wobbling because their hip's not set. So if I'm here and I'm locking my leg out, all I'm gonna do when I bend my knee is just roll these hips open. That's all I did. It's like a bodybuilder on stage flaring their quad. Guys who know, front relax, flare your quad, just come up tall. That's all I'm doing here. So I've taken my hip out of it. I'm bent in my knee. The weight's in my feet, and my weight's back here. So I'm loose in my knee, but I'm holding on quad, right? So when I release, I'm driving off quad. Because this quad stays rolled open to let this hip relax. So it's not this pinching up into me where I'm like this, like driving off this tension in my hip flexor. I'm rolling the hip flexor out of the way in the sense that I'm letting my hip relax and my feet set into my body. So now I can feel the weight on my feet. I'm just moving that with my feet. Now I can relax into my hips, push. Wherever my knees end up going, they go. It's the line of least resistance. So I don't want to roll my quad open a little bit and then force my knee in. So it negates the purpose, right? It's the same thing like you just said, doing front relax. Ooh, with my monster billowing quads. So if I stand here, front relaxed, I'm not gonna stand here when I'm on the stage and do this. I'm gonna roll open. I'm gonna sit my hip and roll my quads, bend my knees. So I'm open, right? So that's where we're pressing from. That's all we're doing. So if you do it on stage and that helps your quad engage, when I kick my hip back and I push out on my feet and my knees pop forward a bit, and that gets my quad to fire, that's how you start your press. Whatever foot position that needs to be, but I'll fucking guarantee you it's not this. It's probably somewhere like shoulder width, a little wider, and we just roll those knees open, sit, come up through, quads flare. So like it's a good, I get it, like why people say, I'm really not bashing it that much, to be honest. It's just making fun of people's fun. Your foot position, like, play with it for what works for you. Don't like, I'm doing glutes today, so I'm gonna do high foot position on every press. I'm not gonna get any quad. Motherfucker, your knee is bending a bit, you're getting quad. I hate to break that to everybody. These isolating days for hamstrings and glutes. Like, are we just gonna do this the whole time? We're gonna do this the whole time. And then we're gonna do fucking, another massive pet peeve is people taking massively heavy dumbbells and doing stiff legs. And all they're doing is just basically hip torquing. So yes, you're holding this weight, don't get me wrong, but you're not holding it at a lengthened position, and you're not allowing your hamstring to be, your hips to be as tight as you can, and rock up over, and rock here. It's this thing where it's like I brace here and I go, it's just this rocking. They're not doing shit, but they're like doing more and more weights. They're like, oh, it's hitting my hamstrings. And you look at the people doing it, legs are this big. No kidding, like no joke. But if you just learn to relax and hold the dumbbells and feel your hip, the height of your hip and like the insertion of your hamstring, and just rock to even here, you'd get more out of it. Because you understand you don't need that much depth, nor do you need that much weight to hit your hamstring. So these guys doing 400-pound stiff leg deadlifts with like a barbell, and they're like, it's like, and your legs are shit because you're just torquing your back. It's fucking erectors and fucking goddamn everything else that's driving that up. It's not your hamstring. It's nowhere near an isolation of the hamstring. Like, but again, we get back to the whole fucking more weight the better. You gotta get those numbers up. Your legs still gotta be shit. Like, your legs still gonna be shit. But you can tell people you stiff-legged 120-pound dumbbells. You can write it in your logbook and fucking share it in your group chat. Everyone will be like, man, Chris is so strong. If we ever need him to if we ever need someone to pick something really heavy up and just move it around, call Chris, because he fucking nails stiff legs, dude. Especially if you have to pick it up at a weird angle. I need to put at least 6 more plates on this for my legs to go. Because we have so many prime examples in my current vicinity. Trainers, this is a fucking note for everybody out there. If you're a fucking trainer and you have a client that's, for lack of a better term, like normal person, a new person in the gym, like non-athletic, just wants to get in better shape, look better, feel better, start them with the easiest shit and get them good at it. Because that easy shit, like we said before, will transfer over into the more difficult stuff. You need to lay the foundation of the house before you start putting windows in. You guys are adding windows to the fucking house. The fucking frame isn't even built yet. But you went and bought the windows. You know what I mean? So you just see these trainers, and you see it online too. It's not just like in here. It's like they're just, you know, it's the person's first time working out. They have very limited knowledge. And then you have them like holding a dumbbell above their head and like squatting down on one leg and then standing up and like rotating into like a stiff leg. It's this complex movement that like you may have done it as a trainer like a bunch of times, but like you can imagine if you try to do that never knowing what it was off the bat, and it's just like the person's getting nothing from that. Like throw them on a leg press, throw them on a hack squat, throw them on something with a track that allows them to understand a path of movement that they can't fuck up. A machine chest press, like a machine pull with a chest supported row. This is all stuff that people can accommodate to quickly that'll carry over to like this nonsense you're gonna fucking preach to them later, right? So at least they have some basis of knowledge, foundation to have it apply. But like, and if you're worried that they're gonna get bored, they're not gonna get bored. Make it fucking hard. It's pretty simple. There's an easy way to keep clients interested. Train them hard. Let them know they did something in the gym and they'll thank you for it, right? It's not like every time my client comes, I gotta think like, man, I gotta get on Instagram tonight and find some asinine fucking movement to do to like to keep this person fucking interested, right? And like personal trainers, stop fucking going crazy about how people lunge. It doesn't matter, man. Like this, like I've never seen in my life this time and age, this day and age. I've been training for a long time. These trainers are obsessed with like fixing the mechanics of the person's lunge. Like, just up more, so into here, push through. Make sure your knees here. Like, just tell them to do it how they do it, how they think they should do it, and then correct little pieces as they go. Don't fix it all in one day. They're not gonna get it. And on top of the fact, a lunge is a fucking lunge, man. It doesn't matter. It's not the ultimate judge of athletic prowess or fucking muscle building ability. You're moving your body weight, for fuck's sakes. Talking about fucking hypertrophy and fucking building muscle. You're lunging people? I use lunges as like a burnout off of a big compound movement. So when I know the person can't get any more there safely, I'm gonna burn them out while their legs are super fatigued and get them to do lunges to recruit more muscle fiber, to get things to fire. I'm not using it as a number one thing, expecting growth. Like, this fitness industry now is convinced that like things that are complicated are gonna make you grow, or they're what makes the difference. It's like, no, I've done a split squat 3 times in my life. I'll never do it again, ever. Why? For what? Am I a sprinter? Am I anything that involves like that kind of me being in that stance ever, or having to generate power from that position? Like where one foot's up, one foot's down, I'm driving out, like holding a fucking 80-pound dumbbell. Like, just go on the fucking hack squat. Go on this fucking little press right here. Like, learn how to isolate better. You don't need to hold a fucking 100-pound dumbbell and do a split squat. Not to mention like the room for error there. You talk about deadlifts being dangerous. Do that shit when it's too heavy. Split squats. Lunges with like weight on your back, like barbells on your back. Are you fucking mental? Like everyone saw Ronnie do it. You're not Ronnie, dude. You're not fucking Ronnie. I bet you, I would even venture to guess, like Ronnie at the time when he was doing those was like, I fucking don't like these. I don't even know what, like you gotta, I don't know how you could like them when he's doing them in Texas in 100 degree weather with 2 plates or 3 plates, whatever it is on his back and lunging out a parking lot. He's like, what the fuck am I doing probably? Like, you know what I mean? Like that wasn't what was the difference. You know what I mean? Those lunges weren't what the difference was when it came to building his physique. They were just auxiliary work. Yeah, it's crazy auxiliary work because it's fucking insane what he did. But it's like, it's not his major thing. Like today we're just doing lunges. It was at the end of the workout usually. Just to burn them out, right? Fucking get muscle fibers to fire, have them fired, burn everything out, get some more blood in there. And that's how it should be treated. Be weary of these motion experts selling you snake oil because they found a little thing that they can nitpick at and like maneuver and like present in a way that seems so technical and so important to you, and they just like they're bamboozling you. So it's like this little tweak and your ability to like step up quicker or like generate this power out of this stance right here and come up. That's all the difference. It's like, yeah, but you could also just do that and then do your other work and understand that the other work's what's more important. Like it's just selling snake oil. It's like those people that used to sell those fucking bracelets with the magnet in it. Like they like little rubber bands and they had like a little magnet in it. It was supposed to like align your body. Like, you know what I mean? Energy care or some shit like that. Like other ones are like that too, like these copper bracelets. Oh, it aligns the ions in your body and you're stronger. It's like, you're the same guys preaching that movement shit. You get into like sports specific shit, I'll listen to you. But bodybuilding, get the fuck out of the gym, bro. We're not doing that here. I'm not trying to optimize movement patterns in a fucking lunge when we're bodybuilding. Like the charity. Yeah, we'll be auctioning this shirt off after this workout. All proceeds go to vegans starving to death in the world. We're gonna buy him some meat. We're gonna buy him some fucking beef isolate protein powder. Get him slightly going in the right direction. Yeah. So anything on this idea, like I talked about before, is like you want to move on muscle. It's gonna suck the show with this weight, so I'm really stupid for fucking waiting till now. But so if I push this out, obviously like most people push stuff out, they hold the thing and they get steady. Most people's reaction, even if everything's set up well, I'm based well, I'm down in the seat, wherever it is, I'm set well, most of their reaction is to do this. They break out of here and the weight flies up. And then there's this like, push off. It's like, I caught it, now I'm like fucking fighting to push it back out. So like instead of doing that, like if you come in here, if I'm locked out here, even if I'm a little bit, I'm gonna let this bend more and see how I can like move my feet and adjust and really wiggle my feet and like get dug into this platform. Now I'm set back. My hips are dead. My quads open like we talked about. My knees are pliable. So they're already in a flex position, like a hinged position, so I can just rock. They're not tense. They're not gonna jump up and I'm gonna go, ugh! It's just gonna be me rocking my feet a little bit here and understanding my feet are gonna get pushed back at me, my knees are gonna push up, I'm gonna push out. So I'm gonna rock up through, down. When we get to the bottom, it's not here to go, ugh! I don't get to the top and go, ugh! Back out. I let this weight sit in here, I squeeze off. Squeeze, I'm in no rush. I want that fold to happen, however deep it is, depending on how big you are. I want this weight to settle here and then slide through. And again, it's my feet pushing. It's not my body jamming this thing out or hip throwing through my foot, right? So I'm holding feet just like I would if I'm bench pressing. I'm gonna let my hands come at me and I'm gonna pull into my back and relax. I'm gonna push off. Your feet are your hands, basically, when it comes to a leg press. So you're bench pressing with your feet here. So I'm allowing that weight to come into me, driving out, keeping my weight back. I don't go with my weight ever. So just understand that when you guys are pressing, even on hack squats, whatever fucking overhead press, doesn't matter. Just get that little crack. Understand that like setting of tension, where I can understand like I'm now in my legs and I'm relaxed here, so that I can be free and just rock down through things. Rock down through things. I'm not going, oh, you know what I mean? It's not this release and then catch. They go, fuck the weight, oh, and then come back up. So just release into things and settle. If you can't get up, that's why you work out with a spotter. Or there's a stopper set up, just hit the stopper. There's nothing to be said that if you get caught on the stopper, you failed at life. Just set that fucking stopper a little closer. If you think you can't get it, just dump it. Take some weight off, put it back up, start again. Doesn't have to be like, you don't lose anything. There's no competition. You don't lose the day at the gym because you didn't get a full rep and fucking probably tear your fucking rotator cuff or fucking quad, whatever the fuck it is, because you fucking exerted yourself so hard and jerked so hard that I got it up though. Like no one's keeping track except for you, man.